Autobots, transform!
What is up, Transformers family? We are back on George Reviews. Today on George Reviews, I'll be taking a look at another Transformers 1986 Studio Series. It is Autobot Jazz. Here he is in his window box packaging. You can clearly see the figure within the box, posed in robot mode. There is some artwork for Jazz on the front of the box, which looks cool. There is the Transformers, the movie logo right here at the bottom. And as I said, it's a Studio Series, Autobot Jazz, ages 8 and up, Hasbro. We got Takara up here, Generations, Transformers, side of the box, the same artwork in large. Studio Series, he is #1 in this series, even though I found him like last. Here is the back of the box. It is the product shot, an image that does not usually depict exactly what's in the box. It says big screen inspired scale detail backdrop, Moon Base 1 destruction. What else we got? Any other little blurbs? Autobot Jazz. Autobot Jazz makes a futile escapes as Unicron devours Moon Base 1. So yep, a couple of things on there. 86 right here on the side of the packaging, and Jazz again looking victorious. Let's get Jazz open. Start with the top of the box. Here is Jazz. He has a couple tight-ons. Woo-wee, look at his little backdrop. It jumps out at you immediately. It is Moon Base 1. Jazz, the Moon Base 2. Looks pretty cool. It's very interesting. A lot of these I really don't hold on to. I might hold on to this one. And what's left inside the box. Box is empty. Warning label and Jazz's instructions. Let's scoot this to the back for right now. Let's get Jazz over here and get Jazz popped out. Got it. And here is Jazz. He has one, down goes Jazz. He has one accessory. It is his gun. Guess I was hoping too much to get a blast accessory. Alright, the first thing I'm going to point out is the gun is white plastic instead of silver plastic. I mean, how hard is that to just give us silver plastic? That way the gun doesn't smudge and the silver comes off to reveal a white gun. Alright. Then they got the porch just sticking out all in white. Man, just give us a silver gun. How hard is that to cast one more piece of plastic in another color? Man, anyway. Here is Jazz. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Jazz's face. Looks very cartoon accurate. It has the one single triangular blue visor. Jazz face never had a lot of detail in it, but it looks accurate as well. Has some vents on the side of his head. Swinging around to the back of his head. His head's not hollowed out. There's a little slit to put the peg in. But it looks pretty cool. Let's take a look at his paint work. He has a blue square, no extra line detailing like the Generation 1 sticker. Nice Autobot logo right there, done in red. The headlights are done in the same light blue. There's some red going around right here, as Jazz should have. And we see some silver at his waist. I believe that is paint because they didn't use silver plastic. Black waist, some blue bits painted right here. Generation 1, those are stickers. White thighs. The shins are black, painted silver. The piece of the car fenders on the side is white plastic. White plastic underneath. Some dating or stamping right there. The back of Jazz. His lower legs are hollowed out, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is solid. Wait, I see his forearms. His forearms are hollowed out, and that's usually due to transformation like that. We're going to come to that. But that is a quick walk around and look around Jazz. Let's get him up on the base. See how he looks at Moon Base 1. Talking to Moon Base 2. Think of his face this way. Jazz, the Moon Base 2. Jazz, the Moon Base 2. We're about to send up a shuttle. Any shenanigans on y'all motherfuckers? Oh, sorry. Okay, I got a little carried away. Alright, let's move a little diagram. I really like this. I really do. You see, I guess that's Moon Base 2 over there out the window, or open a gate space, but that looks pretty cool. Back to Jazz. Let's take a look at Jazz's articulation. I'll start with his head. See what his head can do. Turn to the side. Jazz can look up this much. You can look down that much. See if he has a little side to side. Yeah, he has a little bit of play in there, side to side. Head 360s. That is very cool. And get his arm up this far. A little funny hinge in there for the transformation and all that. And it moves right in here, almost like a butterfly joint, but not quite because of the transformation and the rotation of that barrel. Anyway, he has an upper bicep swivel right here. He has an elbow bend, getting 90 out of that. Coming to his wrist, there's nothing except for the fold away for transformation. Let's take a look at his fist while we're here. Nice molded in fist. You can clearly see his thumb and his fingers. So that is cool right there. Let's check out his waist swivel. Oh, you can move it out of the way. So at 360, you can move a little backpack, a little windshield. Leg articulation, can't quite get the splits as these other figures can because the plastic is hitting right there. So that's not in there. He has a swivel right there inside that upper thigh. Can't get a 360, but you can get all the motion that you can actually use. Has a knee bend. It's kind of weird. It's coming loose. I guess that's transforming a little bit on me. Okay, there. That is the knee bend right there. And coming to his foot, it folds away for transformation. And yeah, he has a rocker. He has a rocker so he can get a wide stance and still hold it. So while he's holding that wide stance, let me get his gun in his hand. Fits right in, obviously, it's his gun. So Jazz is ready to take on Decepticons or get down to a funky beat. Yeah, that's pretty much all he has going on in this mode. I mean, it's Jazz. Everybody wanted Jazz. I really wanted Jazz. The funny thing is, it's not that amazing looking of a figure. But it is Jazz. And I really wanted a better Jazz than that. What was it? Power of the Prime Jazz. Speaking of which, okay, here is the Powers of the Prime Jazz that everybody hated. And the funny thing is, other than the sculpting, the more G1 look of this figure right here, there isn't that huge of a difference in this figure. I mean, well, his hand was terrible. But there's a lot of similar things going on. And this figure is a little bit bigger. And I guess he could still pass for like the Cybertronian mode. Not the animation accurate one. But I love how they did the translucent lights right here. That was cool. Actually, they used two different translucents. The clear, or damn near clear. And the light blue right there. Which is pretty cool. But anyway, I just wanted to bring these two. The last two Jazzes. Jazz that we got from Transformers. At least I think so. Unless I missed one. Side by side. Okay, let me move on to Jazz's transformation. Let me get his gun out. Jazz's gun can store in this bag, and that's probably meant to go in car mode, but either or, you can store right there, or you probably can turn to the side. Just like that is why it's pegged all out, and they could have saved us some of that misery with that peg right there and not done that. But I'll get his gun out of the way and get Jazz transformed. I'm going to collapse his hands into his forearms, of course. That was pretty much obvious. And this is the front of the car, and this is the back of the car. We're going to treat it accordingly. I'm going to collapse his feet and collapse his legs to fill this gap that we saw in the back of the legs that are now filled. And there's a tab, two tabs, and they interlock with each other like that. And there we have the back of the car. And this is not the transformation by the book, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna get it done any way I can get it done. Extend the back of the car to complete the roof. Let's come to the front of the car. See if we can push Jazz's head in. And rotate this piece right here around till we got Jazz looking down here. Bring this piece in to fill up the top of the car. Take this piece right here, the silver piece. You want to hold on to it and spin it around till it goes around that way. It's pretty clever, and it's even made like a little gear. I don't think they had to do that. I think that's a little bit of service for us. Rotate his arms around, entire arm around, till you get this to the bottom of the car. And line it up in here. Same thing with this one. Rotates all the way around. You get it in here. Then the roof of the car comes down. Fits into the space, obviously. If I got that right. Take these doors. There's a port on his arm and a peg on his arm and a port on the door, if you can see that. And we're just going to lock that up right there. Transform, and we got to line up over here. Transform and lock this roof canopy into the vehicle. If I can stop being so heavy-handed. All right, got it all. I think I got it all tabbed in. Here is his vehicle mode, and it looks very, very good. It actually might be the best mode. See how well this car rolls. I got all the tires touching. So it rolls pretty good, and it looks pretty good. This is not a licensed Porsche, but you could have fooled me. I mean, it looks just like the Generation 1, which will make an appearance at some point in time. This side cleans up underneath. You can kind of see the arms, but it looks damn good. You can see the head, but you don't see the top of the head. It looks good underneath. Looks good from the side. Looks good from the back. You can kind of see the feet, but I like how they kind of made it into the bumper back here. So it does look good. I like the translucent windows. But one thing you can see the two different paints. Or at least there's a heavier coat over here, because this white matches the plastic very well. But then back here it's kind of like an off-white or a gray. And maybe it's not like a heavier layer. And right here where it goes over the black, you can see it's kind of broke up a little bit. But it does look good. I love this vehicle mode. It looks excellent. Only little detailing to speak of that we haven't seen already, I guess, would be this part right here that came off of transformation. It goes over to the top of the car. And then the number 14. And oddly, the 1 and the 4 is spaced out almost as if you were meant to remove the 1 or cover the 1, I guess. I don't know. And because it's not licensed, I guess they couldn't put the 4 on there like previous incarnations of Jazz. So let's bring out a couple more. All right, let's get Powers of the Prime Jazz back out here and take a look. These two figures side by side. Take a look at the scale. This is their length together. About the same width. And totally different designs. And the Powers of the Prime retains the striping like the Generation 1 Jazz without looking like the Generation 1 Jazz. And here is the Generation 1 Jazz. And you can see the striping that matches up for the most part. Unpainted rims, though, that actually sucks. Over here, we get painted rims, but no striping. But this looks just like the Porsche. This is the most non-Porsche looking Porsche. I mean, for this not to be licensed, they ripped this thing off. We got some of the same vents on the hood on each figure. Right here and right here. Missing is the little gas tank right here. The circle right here. I think that's the gas tank. I think it is. Well, here's one right here, though. So that's there. The spoiler looks very similar. The back of the car looks very similar. The wheel wells look the same. And they even have the little striping right here where it says Martini Porsche. And they just got a black stripe, no detailing on it. I'm pretty sure Toy Hacks is going to take care of all of that for anybody who wants to cover up their 1 so they can just have the 4 like me. I mean, that 14 is bugging me. Some people don't care. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, obviously, but it does bug me. They should have just gave us a sticker with a clear, on clear paper and with the 14 on it. We could have just cut the 1 and stuck the 4 to it, or they should have just not put a number on it at all and let us just do our thing, you know, because they couldn't give us the 4. All right, also in this mode, you can weaponize Jazz. You know, of course, he has this giant gaping port, and you got 3 options: the sideways, or just straight up on top. I'm just gonna port it in just like this, and this is a tight fit, much tighter than I would have thought. Maybe it was meant to go better this way. Yes, better fit this way, laying down on top of the car. Didn't need that. And the funny thing is, he doesn't have those ports everywhere, I guess, because he's Studio Series, which is a good thing because we keep the car looking clean without all the holes in it. And for my money, a lot of people love this. They could have left that. I don't need weapon storage. This is my weapon storage, just like that or just like that. Bam. I have no problem with just putting a weapon to the side. All right, we got Jazz back in his robot mode, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the size up and the rundown. I'm going to start with some Earthrise figures I think he's compatible with. Here is Earthrise Hoist. And just the camera, I'm going to keep adding figures. Here's Earthrise Grapple, because they look very, very G1. And I'm keep on going. Earthrise Trailbreaker, Earthrise Smokescreen, Bumblebee, and Cliff Jumper. Wait, you know what? Might as well scoot this guy and bring in Earthrise Wheeljack. See how all these Generation 1 guys look together. And now I'm going to do the same thing with my Studio Series figures so far from the 86 movie. Here is Scourge. Here is Hot Rod next to Jazz. And he's not a Studio Series, but he sort of kind of is, isn't he? Here is Cyclonus behind him. And here are the guys I've comprised. And you know what? She's not Studio Series either, but here's my Generations RC, but she fits right in with these movie people perfectly in my mind. Definitely can't get out of here without putting them side by side next to his Generation 1 version. So you guys can check out the similarities and the differences. Alright, to wrap this review up, it's Jazz. There's not a lot going on with him. It's mostly white plastic. They didn't even bother to give us any type of chrome or anything like that. Any extra sticker detailing or anything, striping. And he really could have benefited because he's just an all-white toy, mostly all-white toy. But he looks very cartoon accurate, probably the most cartoon accurate official Jazz we've ever gotten. If that's your thing, then it's here. Totally. What they've done here is really, really nice. I don't have any real complaints other than, I mean, I just wish he had more going on to make him pop, little detailing in the stripes or something. Maybe some light piping with that visor or something, just a little something just to make him pop. So he is a very cool figure priced at $19.99 for Transformers 1986 Studio Series line. And I do recommend him because he is Jazz. If you get him, you gotta get Jazz. He is so iconic. One of Optimus Prime's main lieutenants, second lieutenant. Some people try to argue first lieutenant, but his second lieutenant, indispensable right-hand man on Earth. And he looks pretty cool. So I want to thank everybody for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story.